Thank you so much for being with us on a Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He is Kevin Ricca.
And apparently, we are not the favorites in the NFC East. But let's have some fun talking about what the hell went down this week.
He is Tim Strachan.
There's two things I love about watching football this year. Is one, it's such a strange year. There's really no expectations. But the other thing is, no matter whether we win or lose, we're still in the thick of it with the NFC East. No matter what, it just, it is what it is. And we'll keep rolling with it. Why not?
Thank God it's Tuesday. That is the name of this show. Tuesday's a great day. It's not a victory Tuesday. I get it. Got to eat a tiny serving of crow. We gave you a very sunshine filled
We blew it right up your asses. That's what we did.
situation last week, and I just got to say, while T's right, on one hand, T's right. The Washington football team is still in the thick of things in the NFC East. Things just got a lot less interesting in the NFC East when the dominance of one terrible team over another terrible team, which we will get to. But how about let's start with something awesome? Because that's what I think we should start with, something awesome. It was November 10th, 1775, when the United States Marine Corps was born. Happy birthday, U.S. Marine Corps. Happy birthday, all you Marines out there. Semper Fi. What an
Semper Fi.
awesome day. November 10th. It's also Veterans Day to all you amazing people out there who have served. We thank you. And I just love making sure people know that November 10th is the U.S. Marine Corps birthday on behalf of Albert Marangolo, who is forever a member of the chosen few. Happy birthday, Granddad.
Yes, sir.
And Ken, I just saw. Sorry about that. I just saw a clip how Coach Ron Rivera today and Alex Smith had an opportunity to video chat with some of our nation's veterans and their families. Really cool, man. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. But this is why we're comfortable. If you watch it, this is why you're comfortable with him being the coach of the Washington Redskins right now. It just see it. It's him at his rawest and most genuine self, and I think it translates to the type of leader he is.
And I agree with you 1,000%. And I know you'll agree with this. I'm going to tip my glass to Jack Tier, one of the finest Marines this nation ever saw. I know that from a point blank range to my guy. And Tia, pardon me 1 second. I don't know who isn't comfortable with Ron Rivera, but come out from behind the keyboard, show your face from behind your mask, all that nonsense, blah blah blah, or just stay there. That'd be fine. The right man's here doing the right job, and
Yep.
we'll figure out whether or not his job has been done properly moving forward, and including this week. I understand that. I do. I realize that, but anybody that doesn't think that he's the right guy to right this ship, and you just, I don't want to have that conversation with you. I don't.
It feels like 10 years ago that we were dealing with a terrible start to a season, and we were already saying, hey, listen, this season was always going to kind of suck. We're here to ride it out, like boogie board, body surf the whole way in. And I just got to tell you, I think that it's crazy that I've forgotten that, because for a week and a half, I thought we were big kahuna style. Big kahuna style. And we're not. And I just want to make sure, because I took the text. I took the messages. I understood. I understand. I will not sit here tonight and tell you that this Washington football team deserves to be in the playoffs. I will not sit here and tell you that that game had anything greatly redeemable. There were a few things we can talk about. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that you should be happy about the fact that at 2 wins, we are in the thick of things in the NFCs, which is true. But I do think that it should come back to and boil down to knowing that this ain't a 1-year process. And, man, for a second there, it seemed like we could have captured a little 7-9 lightning in a bottle but I don't know if that's possible
5 and
anymore.
3 is a lot to ask.
5 and 3 is a
You
lot
still
to ask
said there's
too.
only 5 wins needed, right? You only said there's
5.
5 wins needed.
Still need
So why
5.
you get so down on yourself? Don't apologize. Don't back off it. I think that what we were doing last week, same thing we're doing this week. We're being fans, man. First and foremost, the love of our life since we were kids. Just it is what it is. We're still in it.
And we've
I'm
taken
not that. Right?
and we've taken a very mature approach. All of us
Yeah.
haven't backtracked from what we've said at the beginning. All of us are happy that we get to watch football on Sunday in 2020 because you're looking and seeing what's going on all around us. There's going to be some gaps. There's going to be a couple bye weeks. There's going to be some weird shit. It's coming. Everything's weird shit these days. So I've been thrilled to be able to get up and watch the team, to actually get together with the two of you and watch the Cowboys, and then
That was our
bask
mistake.
in the glow of T's chili and Leslie's hospitality, and me having one too many Bloody Marys for 2 weeks. That feeling stuck around. That's 2 weeks that we might not have had that we had. That's all. That's
And T, you're right, of course. But I think what was different for me was I woke up on Sunday morning thinking or getting ready to root for a different situation. I understand we only had 2 wins coming in, and I understand the Giants are terrible, and I understand nobody was watching, not even apparently Jonathan Vilma, but we'll get to that. I was in a playoff race on Sunday morning. I felt like I was watching a playoff contender on Sunday morning because someone's going to the playoffs from the NFC East, no matter how bad we are.
one team will go.
One team will go, and I was there on Sunday morning. I was there, and I'm not, and I'm back, and I trust me, I do love the team, and I'm never give up, and I want never say die, and want to win every single game, but I know very well the feeling of getting up on Sunday morning to watch a terrible team play a game that they very well might lose. I've been doing that for a long time, and I'm comfortable with that. I understand it. It's like a warm blanket some days. But for one Sunday morning, that wasn't it. I was watching something else, and now we're back. And now we're back. What's that?
It's so disheartening to hear. Because you've had such undying loyalty for this team. This is something.
There's
that
nothing disloyal about.
No.
I mean, we have 2 wins.
With no matter what, you don't back off of it. Look, the schedule's no different than the schedule that we talked about last week.
Yeah, but we just played the worst team on it.
It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. I understand 5 wins. 5 wins still gets it done probably in the NFC East. 5 and 3 down the stretch for this team. While a stretch is possible. I'm not backing off of rooting for it. I'm in a different place. Had we won that game, we'd be talking about a team with a little momentum going its way into a schedule where it had the possibility of doing some damage, and that's no longer the case. And again, it's the way you lose. It's the mistakes that get made. But I don't want to. I'm not here to dwell on the negative. I'm just here to not to deny it. Not to because
Disney isn't gonna let it happen, dude. Disney, you're the one that made me think about this really hard. Disney's never gonna let this crash. It's all going according to their plan right now.
It is, and so let's focus on the positive for a second because there is some positive. And just as a break to Greg Martin, who's a New York guy, who is getting married, who has officially cut the Redskins tribute in his wedding speech, and is considering flushing his Redskins cufflinks down the drain before the wedding. I would say I'm here to talk you off the cufflink edge. You don't have to put it in your speech. Just us, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying. Jonathan Vilma is getting some decent marks from the board, and we're not sitting here saying he was bad. We're just sitting here saying he was raw, green. Once again, some networks said, Redskins are playing the Giants. What interns do we have that are looking for a long-term career in broadcasting? Jonathan Vilma, you're next up to call a game for your very first time. I don't know if that was his first game or not. Again, he wasn't bad. It's just the fact that that's who we get. We get guys who we've never heard or seen before. He was fine.
he's going to be good.
I think so too.
He's going to be good. He's got a great personality, obviously a feel for the game. He's a smart dude. He's a funny guy, but he just didn't stop talking about down distance and time to the point where I felt like, we're not Jay Gruden. We don't need to hear this. we understand the scenario. Yes. It was like 3 minutes and 40 seconds left. He was like, if you let it dip under 2. I'm like, take it easy. You're like 17 plays away from this, but whatever. He just didn't stop talking. His voice rang through my ear that reminded me of that grimy-ass game that we all had to watch.
Yeah.
Not his fault, but partly his fault.
Big time positive that no one could ruin was, again, Alex Smith coming off the bench and playing for this team. I mean, listen, he was never supposed to play football again, ever, for his own good and for everyone's good. He was never obviously going to be cut because he had so much money due to him. And so, you had this collision of realities where you can't cut a guy because you guaranteed him money no matter how many legs he has. And then you have you keep him on your team, and you got a guy who is hardwired to play sports as long as he possibly can. They just crisscross paths again. And he had to play because we were down to no other quarterbacks. He played well.
First of all, up until his last 3 series, he was completely lights out, on fire. And I know he was check down guy, but they were playing a little soft, and we needed to advance the ball. He put us in a position down 20-3 to win that damn football game, and I think at that point he was like 24 of 28. For 320-some yards, and the first touchdown he's thrown since, in 600 days since his leg was spiral fractured. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Then he missed that check down to McKissick, and he contorted his body too much. Then pick. And it was as if the rest of that shit didn't happen, and that's the reality we're back into. But I thought he played his ass off until the end.
I'd like to see every single person who's criticizing him for his play, especially his last 2 picks, to take a year off of professional football, go through what he went through, and prove to be better than that. I mean, come on, let's all be serious. He's going to have a full week of practice, full week of reps. Hey, this may be a great thing for the Washington football franchise because now Dwayne gets to see a true professional actually prepare for a football game the way that you're supposed to prepare for a football game. And I think Alex Smith is also going to have a whole bunch of checkdowns in this week's game. But it's not because he does it by default. It's because he does that as a way to move the offense forward. He takes his shots when they're there. He doesn't when they're not. Instead of throwing it away or trying to run out of the pocket and make something crazy happen and throw interceptions, he's good at taking care of the ball. I know he didn't do it this past week, but he was a backup, didn't get the reps, didn't have the time. Let's see what he does this week. I think he's going to be just fine. I have no problems with him being the quarterback right now, which is crazy to say because I never thought he was ever going to play football again.
I know you didn't. It's crazy, but it's also sincere, and I'm psyched to see him. I feel like Detroit's a team that we walk into Motown City and then take care of business. I don't know why. Obviously, I'm an optimist, but historically speaking, that Giants game, we understand. Daniel Jones has won one other NFL game. He's beat us 4 times. So, conference rival, Giants, Redskins. But for some reason, I feel like, we've got something for Detroit.
I feel
Only
okay.
because they stink.
At this point, the schedule is not a hard schedule. The Washington football team, if it doesn't commit turnovers, the volume. I mean, there was like a Costco, package of turnovers, and having those mistakes coupled with the penalties, it was just all the ways you lose, and we did it.
Only lost by 3.
What's
we
that?
Only lost by 3.
I understand, but we lost, and we earned the loss. I just don't. I mean, we could have won the game. We are good enough to win that game. We just didn't on Sunday. I think we can.
We're so much better than them. It's bizarre.
It's crazy.
We're better than them. We've played better than them. We've gotten better than them. But Would they have the ball 13 minutes longer for 24 more plays, and we have 5 turnovers to their 0? When Daniel Jones doesn't have a turnover, and every rookie on our roster puts the ball on the ground as fast as they can, how are you even close? They had the ball for 13 more minutes, 24 more plays, and had 5 less turnovers. We're so much better than them.
Mm-hmm.
That was a. But what I do like, how we're down 20-3 in years past. I'm sorry, fellas. That final is 44-13, and we all go home. Somehow I always feel like we have a chance against the bad teams. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Defense. That's why.
Yep. Good
Yeah,
defense. And we are.
They played the whole damn game. They were on the field the whole damn game.
There's a brand of terrible in the National Football League that gets played every year by a handful of teams, and the scores are lopsided, and the games are uncompetitive, and no one cares. And we have at times been that team, but we're not that team this year. I understand the lack of national interest in our program, but we're not getting destroyed, in our schedule. And I do think that Alex Smith is good enough to be the quarterback of games that we win. The interesting thing, T, is so first he marches back onto the football field, fills my belly with some Red Breast whiskey, but then we say, T says, but Haskins is never going to play again. And I was like, come on. That we just know that's not true. There's no chance he doesn't play another down for the Washington Redskins. And T said, put a few extra bottles of that Red Breast on the line. So T, I got to ask at this point in time, and this is something the board is talking about right now with regard to our quarterback situation. Yes, Alex Smith is the starter, but how long until Dwayne Haskins takes the field again for this team?
If Disney has anything to say, nothing, never.
So the 36-year-old starting quarterback with a spiral fracture and the WFTO line. I think Dwayne Haskins is the closest quarterback to playing professional football of anyone who's not from this point moving forward till Super Bowl Sunday. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think
the end of Week 17.
He shows up on Sunday with a blindfold and a cigarette at this point in time when he's under center for that first time.
God,
I mean,
don't say that.
It's go ahead, T.
Unfortunately, I'm going to lose our bet, and I'm going to owe 2 bottles of Listau. Right?
It's 3. You tripled or nothing.
It's not 3. I wouldn't triple or nothing before I double or nothing.
It was on the show. No, because
I actually re-listened it. You're not going to like this one. And you still owe me Continental here, so we can throw that in too.
The point being is this. Dwayne Haskins may also be one of the most luckiest young professional football players right now, given that he is a play away from possibly playing again. He has been told very point blank what he needs to do. And it's now all on him to either do that or not when he gets his opportunity. Because you don't get this type of second chance a lot of times when things go down this way in this league. And he needs to take advantage of it. And I think Terry McLaurin has kind of made that known as his buddy, as his former teammate and current teammate now, that he's going to do everything he can to help him along that way. I think a lot of people want him to succeed. We want him to succeed.
Oh, there's no one that doesn't want him to succeed.
We need him,
of course,
to succeed.
We absolutely need him to succeed. No one's rooting against him.
There's a lot of people who don't. But let's hope that if he does get the opportunity, that he takes advantage of it.
Hey, just in case he's not our quarterback moving forward, we need to develop him. Listen, Andy Reid made a ton of money and advanced far into playoffs, bringing third round, fifth round draft choices around, and then trading them for second round picks. I mean, he was the QB whisperer. I'm not saying we're going to have a QB whisperer, but let's take him from where he is right now. Let's develop his worth for us.
Yep.
Just in case we have to trade him. I mean, stop with the madness of let's get rid of him, let's trade him now. You can't trade a guy whose value has never been lower based on our decision at the worst time ever at the trade deadline on Election Tuesday. That's not happening. Come on.
I like I said, and I still think it's true. The best path forward for both the team and for Dwayne Haskins is for Dwayne Haskins to play and for him to play well. It works out for everyone.
Under Ron Rivera, being taught the right way, he just got punished. He just took it on the chin. Ron Rivera runs a military-style program. That doesn't mean you're buried. That means you work hard, prove your worth, and you get your chance.
Yep.
And what T said is right. And this is part of the process that we talked about. We were mistaken to think that he had to play all 16 games to gain all this. Maybe part of it is that he needed to not play some of these games to gain some of that. And that's what the hope is. And if he's our quarterback, if he's not, I don't know if he's going to be, but we got to get him some positive reps live on tape at this point to show something in him so someone takes a chance. That's it. If he's not going to be our guy.
And let's also shoot from the hip on this. Maybe Dwayne Haskins doesn't throw one or both of those interceptions at the end, but he also would have had to thrown for 350 yards just to get to that point to have that chance. And I don't think quarterback ultimately, despite the last two plays, that Alex had, I don't think quarterback ultimately was our problem in this game. Quarterback's not necessarily the reason we're losing. There's plenty of those. And I would love to see Dwayne get a shot because I think Alex will be just fine. I think Dwayne will be just fine. If both of those things are true, you play Dwayne. You play the young guy and you get him reps and you let Alex come off the bench again and get his $21 million. I mean, he's shown enough for me. He's proven enough for me. I don't need Alex Smith going back and taking hits from 350-pound
But
guys.
hasn't he earned this?
Oh, of course. Yes. The answer to your question is yes.
So,
But from an organizational
I
standpoint,
agree with that. I hear you.
it's got to be Haskins.
And
But
I think the
Alex
one
Smith
thing that
has
Ron
earned it.
Rivera understands is how long we have for the rest of the season. How many twists and turns have we had so far?
It's felt like
We're at
5
the halfway
seasons
point,
already.
and it's been 5 different seasons. It's been bonkers. So I think old Ronnie Boy knows that Alex deserves what he's got right this very second, but Kyle ain't coming back this year. And in the next 8 games, and Sam D'Souza, you and I bet 100 that Dwayne Haskins would never take one more snap as a Washington Redskin. So, Ken, I think when he does that, you need to call T. I'll call Sam. We should have a party, and we will invite T and Sam, obviously. We're gentlemen. It's 2020. We just got to stand far apart while
Let's
we point
just get
fingers.
it started with just one bottle of Lustal.
No,
Just
I don't
see
want
what
to kick T when
happens.
he's down. So I'm just going to say he has got to listen to the footage because I do believe it's 3 T, but Ken is easily negotiable this time of year.
I'm
He's got a big,
super
huge heart.
easy. Super easy. Always ready to make a quadruple or nothing bet on that.
Bottles it is. It's just the principle of winning music. That's all. Sorry.
Do you want to know what the quadruple or nothing bet could be?
Ken just ruined it. You can't quad a quad.
You
You can't.
Oh, dude! Nice.
Thank you for laughing, T.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Kick me signs
I
on
didn't
your
even pick up
shirt
on
now, sicko. I can't believe you just said that.
Quintuple?
I'm gonna call your wife.
But
Yes.
I can quad as much as I want.
Very true.
Very
Very
unlimited
true.
capabilities.
So if 2 gentlemen can agree,
neighborhood.
I'm not going to say shit about it because I know I'm be drinking one of them 4 bottles.
Oh, you're going to be doing just fine either way. Definitely involved, and I'll be eating that Continental at some point in the future. And
Sounds
Keegan,
great.
by the way, you owe some Continental too.
And we'll have Continental.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? Of course.
Oh, I'll bring the Pepto and the
I'll pay
Charmin.
for all of
That'll be my contribution.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
Can we talk about Cam Curl real quick, boys?
let's
Just real
move
quick.
over to
Can
the
I say-
defensive
can I
side of
just
the
say it?
ball.
All right,
And that's
thank you.
I'm happy to
I
start
didn't
in
even
the
know
back
we were doing that.
because Cam Curl made some plays, and our
Some negative ones too, but
our safety position is up for grabs, and we have a young player there who's showing Jack Del Rio and that defensive, coaching staff something.
I noticed at one time in coverage, we all saw it. He froze, and listen, that's part of it. Fine, whatever. The dude pre-draft, I said, man, I really like this guy. late. We got him free agent. The dude started in the SEC as a freshman at cornerback. He's got the size to play safety. He's got the heart. In fact, he's got the balls to come up and smack you right in the mouth, but the size to play at the nickel, and he's got the size to play either in certain situations. And to have 11 tackles, come off the edge, get your first sack and tackle for loss. Yeah, we saw you freeze a couple times. That's part of playing in the league this year on a bad team, on a decent defense. Rivera crapped on the linebackers. We know about our front four. It's very cool to see a guy, and I don't know what happens with Landon Collins, but he could be the guy that would meld right in and keep this stuff around with another guy to come back, or he might be a guy. But I see Cam Curl as one of those Redskins that's around for a little while, fellas.
Yeah. And that's important because when you go into year 2 of a rebuild, you have to decide what you're going to spend your salary cap on, where you're going to spend your draft capital on, and safety for me was right at the top of my list as far as where a top-notch draft pick or a top-notch free agent. And if Cam Curl locks himself into one of those slots, then that downgrades the need for some of that capital. Then you can go get yourself a guard, get yourself
free money,
a wide receiver. Exactly, it frees up money. Get yourself multiple offensive linemen, obviously.
Cam Curl could be one of the keys to one of our linemen.
Can he play guard or center?
No, but you know what? He would try. You've seen him play. He's like Everett, flying around trying to kill people.
But he's
got his limitations, though. Cam Curl's got the size and the speed.
Guys like him are the key to a better offensive line because they give us more ability to get it.
I love that.
I think it's another testament to Ron Rivera. Now, maybe most or all NFL coaches are like this, but it appears to me that Ron's the kind of guy that's going to give a guy like Curl the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And Curl truly believes if he does what he can do and he plays his ass off, works his ass off, he's going to get that opportunity. I think it goes hand in hand. Maybe that's not true everywhere you go in the NFL, but I think that's true with a Ron Rivera. Ron doesn't care what you were drafted. He probably doesn't care whether you're a free agent, undrafted free agent or not. You can play. Right. Give you an opportunity, and I think it works with the whole what we're talking about, freeing up space. What you were saying, Ken. If you can get these young guys to fill these roles, then yes, it's only going to make this organization better from the inside out, kind of like in a Belichick way, right? You do it through your draft, you do it with your own guys, you develop from within, and then you have to bring a couple guys from the outside to fill in and maybe a piece or two. That's the formula that I think works in the NFL.
And we all know with this damn-ass coronavirus that the salary cap that usually jumps up $11 million a year is going to be frozen at a baseline at about 185, and it'll probably be pretty similar to what it is right now, but we're a top 5 team. It's going to cause a really crazy amount of veterans at a low price. The market's going to be flooded, gentlemen. The salary cap's going down, and or staying the same, if not losing a little bit. We'll see. We're in a position where we need to add some of those guys that you just talked about, T. Every Cam Curl that steps up for us frees up such an amazing situation for us moving forward. The more of these youngsters we can find in these next 8 weeks that we think can be guys that can stick around and make that minimum and have a starting role, that's such a big, huge deal for us to go out and figure out what we got to do moving forward. I do believe Cam Curl will be one of those guys. I do. And
let's get a bunch of camps. Let's get a bunch of camps. Cam Curl, Cam Sims, guys that right now are proving they can play at this level and have a role on this team.
Let me give you guys a little possibility as well, because the path forward for the Washington Redskins, let's say even if we draft a quarterback, let's say, okay, best case scenario, Dwayne Haskins plays well and he remains the quarterback of the future for us. Worst case scenario, Dwayne Haskins doesn't play well, he's traded or no longer in the situation.
Keep
and
him at the
we draft
3.9 as the backup. We got to keep him, right?
Well,
3.9 is the backup. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm talking about the possibility that Alex Smith remains on our team at the age of 37. That's where I'm going with this. You guys want my ludicrous prediction of the night, when I'm trying to prepare you for something stupid that just might happen, but not like stupid, just weird stupid. as soon as he spirally fractured his leg and had like $50 million still guaranteed to him, after that moment happened, and we all were like, well, obviously we're going to have to pay him his money. It's going to be on a roster. He'll come off at 2020. That's the out of his contract. It creates $10 million in dead cap space in 2021 after you cut a 36-and-a-half-year-old Alex Smith before his age 37 season with one leg. But if he's healthy, if he and Scott Turner develop something and he shows Ron Rivera he can still pinch hit and jump on the field, and you're still trying to develop a young quarterback, I just want everyone to be prepared for the possibility that we come back next year and Alex Smith is still on this team. That's like the weird thing that I think is possible in 2021.
If that's possible, sorry, T, but if that's possible, may it be possible for me to suggest this? The only way I would wish for that, and I love me some Alex Smith, I'm talking the burgundy and gold single,
Like the Joe Theismann?
Beskar Steel Mandalorian helmet with a whole new Beskar Steel leg and outfit, all burgundy and gold.
Yep.
And then he has to pay for it with the $24 million that he's getting next year.
Yeah, his cap hit would be 24.
We'll subsidize the rest. I know this year's 21, next year's 24, and we get out next year at what, like 11?
Well, it's an $11 million cap, dead cap hit.
Right.
If he's gone versus so it's like
But that's 13 freedom bucks.
13 freedom bucks. But you're not paying it to anyone else at quarterback.
But they're not making any more land this year. The salary cap is going to bottom out at 185. It's going to top out at 195, and we're in top 3 position.
Yep.
But we've got.
I understand.
But we've got the most choices to make.
You're looking for someone who wants to come here.
Right.
You're looking for someone who we can afford.
Right.
And you're looking for somebody who has a chance to be on this team for more than 2 years. You're looking for a 3 or 4 year investment in players that can play for us. Now, we've had a hard time finding those guys recently. Now, I think Ron Rivera can recruit. I think you can show pictures of Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson and Chase Young and Jonathan Allen and say, you want to be on these guys' team. I think he can do that. And I think we can spend our money, and we'll have no problem spending our money. But Dwayne Haskins makes nothing. If we draft a rookie quarterback, he makes nothing. At the quarterback position, if you're less than 25, 26 millions in and you walk into any given Sunday with 2 guys who you feel comfortable being able to play, that's the situation I'm talking about. You can't get a better backup for less than $20 million these days. I agree with everybody who says, please, God, no, let the Alex Smith era be over mercifully.
He's going to go somewhere.
He's going to play for us next year.
He's the Mandalorian. He just doesn't stop. He just doesn't care.
Or Disney doesn't want to just have this comeback, inspirational film. They want to have a series to go with the Mandalorian and build up their Disney Plus platform. So
I love that you bought into this, T. You believe in it. You know it. You know it's true because we've been saying it from the beginning. It's true.
I don't even know what the hell to say anymore.
I know. So that's my weird, looking into my crystal ball and seeing like, okay, what are the things that could happen as a result of this season? One of them is I think Alex Smith is going to still be on this team next year, not as our starter, but as the like the Ryan Fitzpatrick
I knew you were going to say guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick,
who, by the way, gets paid $20+ million.
And he's earned it.
Yep.
All right, how about this? Real quick, fast, speed round. The quarterback on the roster going into this week, so I'm including Kyle Allen, I'm including R3, who has the best chance to be on the roster next year. I'm going to start, and I'm going with Kyle Allen. I think he's our backup next year to whoever the hell this happens. But he loves it here. He wants to come back. His gracious little Twitter tweet he sent to the fans, it was awesome. He says he loves it here. Can't wait to be back. It's a restricted earnings deal. They'll figure it out. He's not in any position to be bargaining.
No, and if Kyle Allen is our backup to either Dwayne or some other guy you're trying to develop,
that's my call.
I got no problem with that whatsoever. That said,
You already hinted at Alex
I've read
Smith.
these
Tea
poems
leaves?
before. Alex Smith is going to be on this team next year.
T-Bird, who do you got? Please approach the bench, sir, verbally.
I think it's Dwayne.
Yep.
I
think
like
it's
this
Dwayne.
conversation.
I think it's Dwayne. At this point in time, it's Dwayne. It could be Fitzpatrick. Who knows? He's going to be free, right?
Yeah, but
Take it easy.
he's making too much money.
He's
If you're going to pay,
and he's older than Rivera
Disney
and Del Rio.
Disney loves magic.
we
Disney
should have
loves
signed
magic.
him 2 years ago.
Fitz
T.
magic would work.
We already should have signed him. We missed our chance. He should have already been our quarterback. Yeah.
I agree.
We 2 years ago we should have paid whatever it took to bring him over here and ridden that situation, but we didn't.
I like Josh Johnson, but Poopy Sanchez, Dirty Sanchez,
God.
he was so
I can't even
preppy
think
and
about it.
West Coasty.
I don't think Steven Montez is going to be just fine in his same role next year as well.
His role of is he a Uber Eats driver? What is he doing these days?
Well, he was actually taking reps over instead of Haskins a few weeks ago.
Who
in
was?
practice.
Yeah,
Steven Montez
yeah,
was?
he's like the ninth string quarterback. I think he's behind Logan Thomas.
If Ron Rivera was a nun, Dwayne was taking it with a ruler off the knuckles. And you know what?
Yeah, he's our guy. At this moment in time, you know what? I just want to be in my feelings with all the people on the board tonight. Like losing the Giants sucks. Being swept by the Giants is just, to me, it's very hurtful. We don't get another chance at him this season. We're definitely not going to get him in the playoffs because that's not happening. They could expand the playoffs to 26 teams, and we still would have a chance of playing the Giants in the playoffs. So we don't get another chance at him until next year, and it kills me. And I wear that on my sleeve. And it's precisely because of how undyingly loyal I am that it hurts this much.
What hurt even more for me is my neighbor 4 or 5 houses down who walks his dog by my house and says that he's a Giants fan. I saw him the day after, and I said, hey, if only you guys could play the Redskins every single week. And he actually looked at me and says, I'm so pissed that we even won. Because now we're jeopardizing our chances to get the first pick and get Trevor Lawrence. That hurt. That was
what
like
an
putting
idiot.
salt and vinegar in a wound. It was awful.
Why wouldn't you want Daniel Jones as your quarterback? Why would you want to tank with Daniel Jones as your quarterback? That's ridiculous.
Best quarterback in the NFC East right now. He is the best quarterback in the NFC East as we sit here today.
Mr. Jones and me. But the problem is, if you're an NFC East fan, 1 week you're rooting for Trevor Lawrence. 1 week you're rooting to win the NFC East and actually have a playoff party at somebody's house during what I think is going to be a tough time for all of us locked in. What are you rooting for? The worst and the best? How about you just make it real simple? Losing sucks. Winning's great. Our team gets better by winning, and maybe we lose a couple draft slots, and the bust happens there, and we get the steal. No one ever talks about getting the steal of the draft and how high you're. The can't miss, you have to. Well, how many times is a can't miss we have to hit the bullseye for us?
Kevin.
What a lot of people are missing, in my opinion, is that as can't miss as I think Trevor Lawrence is, so is Justin Fields. Whoever's going to have pick number 2 is going to be just as, if not possibly even happier.
That's fine.
That's fine, but do you know how ballsy it would be to take both of Ohio State's quarterbacks in a 2.5 year span?
And their defensive end. It's just the new Alabama.
Dwayne, so now how do they work that? Never mind.
Here you go.
What were you going to say?
James Rainey is responding to your Mandalorian Alex Smith comparison, and he said that he thinks Alex is more like Baby Yoda, a miracle guy, but if he's going to start eating frog eggs, we're going to need to put him down.
That's fair. That's fair. But as long as, like Baby Yoda, he spits out the poison frog.
Fair enough.
Because of all the injuries we've dealt with through life, our Mandalorian, had a spiral leg fracture at the same yard line that Joe Seisman did, at the same yard line that Kyle Allen did, had his ankle thing. He's back.
They need to blow up FedEx Field.
He's back, though.
I know.
Of all the injuries that have derailed all of our progress and hindered all of our everything, Alex Smith is the only one that has quadrupled down. And his injury.
You said you couldn't. You didn't have the ability to quadruple
down. It wasn't
down.
directed directly at me, so it's fine.
Okay, fair enough. We have a ruling. The judges ruled.
And I was specifically referencing your terrible comment earlier.
Fair enough. I'm a terrible person.
The kick me sign goes on me next. I'm trying to get my kicks in before I have to serve my penance.
All right, so we're going out on a preview of the Detroit Lions game. I'm feeling a little bit exercised of some Sunday demons. I think that we should be a 3-win team by the end of Sunday. And at 3 wins, we're literally on the precipice of being an NFC East winner. I mean, how ridiculously stupid can this season get? I'm not rooting for losses. I'm not rooting for draft picks. But for God's sake, make up your mind. Is 2 wins good or is 2 wins bad? I don't even know anymore. That's what 2020 has done to us.
Like, should the Ford family and Daniel Snyder get together and just say, let's not play the game, award Detroit the win, but the Redskins get to go home with Matthew Stafford, who's one of the people who very well might be.
He's like super spreader
in the DMV next fall.
Matt Stafford could also be a quarterback here, that's sure. But he needs to get a vaccine because, in my understanding, he's more COVID than man at this point.
Well, he'd also need to get his head checked after spending all that time in Detroit to sign a free agent contract to come to D.C.
Yeah, that's true.
COVID does crazy stuff, though. We'll see.
T, how are you feeling about Sunday?
Alex Smith, this is the way.
This is the way. T has spoken.
I think Alex Smith is going to come out. He's going to prove a lot of people wrong, and he's going to show why he is the professional that he is, and he's going to get a win under his belt for his first start.
All right. Well, listen. This is the script that we've been promising you for 1.5 years. Against all odds, of every single kind of odd,
in
the definition
middle
of
America.
Odd. In a world where a man with one leg plays quarterback for the Washington football team, a 2-win team going to play the Detroit Lions in what will be possibly one of the least watched football games in recent memory, less so than any of the last few least watched games that we've participated in recent memory. And all of a sudden, I'm thinking Ryan Gosling is gearing up to play this part.
Ryan Gosling fits in Stafford's jock.
I'm talking about Ryan Gosling playing Alex Smith in the Disney movie.
He can't be his thigh pad. Ryan Gosling is your call?
First of all, don't you dare say anything bad about Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling can play Baby Yoda and who else?
He's a national treasure.
Ryan Gosling. Jesus, Ken.
They could be twins.
Christian Bale? I bet Christian Bale could play Alex Smith. He could do anything. Christian Bale's the greatest.
Stop it. Christian Bale's been over-awarded all his roles. He played the king of someone. He played this.
Well, he's about to play the quarterback for the Washington football team. I think, and that might be his hardest role.
Yeah, but he was a prick on set.
It might also be a career ender.
Alex Smith is. Don't ever Christian Bale Alex Smith.
I think it could kill a
especially after quadding a quad, you psychopath. Jesus Christ, get your head out of your ass.
In Wikipedia, it'd be like, where did Christian Bale spirally fracture his career when he played Alex Smith on the big screen for Disney? It's all over after that.
He spirally fractured offset. You saw it.
It
He's
happened.
A diva.
It happened.
Alex Smith is the anti-diva.
That's true. I'll give you that. Alex Smith can play Alex Smith. Kevin, how do you feel about Sunday?
Well, I said it earlier. For some reason, historically, I just feel like I don't know, our only playoff win ever I was at, we beat Barry Sanders and the Detroit Lions. We just kind of beat the Lions. Barry Wilburn and Super Bowls we won 45-0. I just feel like we're going to beat the Lions. I know Kirk Cousins ran a little 45-yard run in, and Stafford beat us in 57 seconds a couple years back. That's
Yes,
the only negative thought process I have about this, and we both stink, and I'm thinking we just come out of there with Matt Stafford and see what happens.
I have the Washington football team pulling it out, and I have it on a little bit of a different – because I think that the way that we win is going to be predicated on our start, which I think will just be a little bit faster than what we've seen the last couple of weeks because they've been pretty darn slow. And I think that you write that one thing, I think you got a big change. I like the Washington football team going away. I mean, I think this is a 28-17 type of game. I don't think it comes down to the end. And a football thought that I have about it, I think Kenny Golladay is banged up. I don't even know if he's going to play. I know that he's questionable. I think he's one of the best wide receivers in the entire league when he's healthy. Maybe top 3, top 4. I mean, I think he's that good. And if he can't go, that's a big deal. And I don't think he's going to be healthy.
Another guy we might spend some of this cheese on.
I would spend my last I would back up a truck full of my last dollar to get Kenny Golladay on my team.
I believe he's on a short list, brother.
If Detroit is stupid enough to let him go, which I'm not convinced they are, then yes, 100 million years, we will not pass that up. I want to get us out of here by wishing, and the board's beating me to it. Definitely good luck with the wedding, Greg. And everyone seems to be behind you. You're from all over the world on
cheers,
our board
Greg.
tonight. You're getting some cheers. And you know what? As T has recommended on our previous show, which I'm going to plug right now, we had a chance to talk to Eric Metcalf, who did play for the Washington Redskins in 2001 under Marty Schottenheimer, and in a terrible season that was. The terrible season that was in the beginning. We finished 8-8. Awesome conversation. Do yourselves a favor if you have a chance. It's on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. It's free. You get notifications every time we go live, and you'll be helping us out. Tell a friend. Eric Metcalf on the show before the WCAC Spectacular. Greg, buy your wife a Pink Dot style bag. You heard it here first. I know you're all the way up in New Jersey. You can get the site from our page. You can get the site from our show. You won't go wrong.
Bridesmaids gifts.
Bridesmaids gifts.
I mean,
mother-in-law, you're going to have a whole new side of the family to impress. Pink.style.com. All you boys out there.
WCAC5 on the code, because Greg's got to save a couple bucks, because,
WCAC5 on the checkout code.
But let's make sure Greg.
Hey, cheers, Greg.
Is properly cheers to.
Absolutely.
That's why we're definitely getting the W this
Nasta.
week. Nasta.
Until next Tuesday night, he is Tim Strachan.
Appreciate it, guys. Hey, let's just keep this going. We talk about this being the best thing that we love to watch, and it's as long as there's something to be invested in and watch every Sunday. Let's roll with it. I look forward to talking about it with you guys and the board and everybody every Tuesday, man.
He's Kevin Ricca.
Hell yeah, and I look forward to the fact that no matter what happens during all this craziness, we got Ron Rivera in 2020, and only 2020 could criticize a man who took a job that you were only supposed to fail.
Yep.
And only the Redskins fan base, a minor portion of it, wants him to be gone. I am so happy and thankful that we have Ron Rivera. Moving towards this holiday season, let's always remember that Ron Rivera chose here because Dallas wanted him desperately. He picked us. So,
Giants. Everyone wanted
let's
him.
stick with him. Yeah, Joe Judge and McCarthy were afterthoughts. It was a Rivera situation. Rivera made his choice. I don't know how Dan Snyder didn't turn him off, but I don't care.
We got him.
I know that Dan Snyder knows. Never mind. I'm very happy that we have Ron Rivera. That's my point. Let's stick with him. Let's show some faith. And we're going to see what happens. It's going to be great.
Next Tuesday night, we'll be here breaking down the win over the Detroit Lions. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was Thank God It's Tuesday, and we are still live.
Still live.
Disney called. They said, this is the way.